Join us today as we jump into making something for you.
That's right, we are going to make a very easy and chic handbag in some gorgeous fall fabrics. I'm Kim.
And I'm Chris, and you're watching The DIY Dish.
Well, we are certainly into the fall season now. The kids are back in school, the weather is getting cooler, and before you get too swamped with those holiday projects, you might just want to try to make a little something for you.
That's right. So we're excited to share with you a project we call the DIY Dish Basic Bag. And we're incorporating these gorgeous and rich fabrics from today's sponsor, Art Gallery Fabrics. You may better know this company by the name of their head designer, Pat Bravo.
That's right. Pat has designed these fabrics that are not only vibrant and sophisticated, but they are also 100% Pima cotton.
Beautiful. And that, along with the special thread count and weave, makes these perfect for quilting, clothing, and a whole lot of home decor.
That's right.
So I don't know a woman who doesn't love the look of a chic handbag, one that is perfect for holding just about everything, right?
And this one does just that. We've called it the DIY Dish Basic Bag because we're going to show you how to make the basic bag with only 2 fabrics. From there, you can make it all your own. Adding embellishments like flowers or ribbon trim will make it uniquely yours. So take a look at what we're going to make today.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? I love it. So here's what you're going to need. First of all, you're going to need 1 yard of fabric number 1 and a yard of fabric number 2. And we use 2 fabrics from Pat Bravo's newest line called Dreaming in French.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is. It's gorgeous.
So what you're first going to want to do is take 2 of your Pat Bravo fabrics and cut them into a 14 by 30 inch size.
Okay.
So here you can see I took this beautiful lime green one here, and then I've got the more plum purple one over here, and those are each 14 by 30, but I put them together, right sides together, and made a 1/2 inch seam. So take a look
1/2 inch seam.
Yes,
Okay.
your 1/2 inch seam allowance is going to go right down the middle of those fabrics. Okay, now you've got those sewn together, you're going to take it over and press the seam.
Okay.
All right, easy enough.
Absolutely.
Okay,
That's right.
Once you have done that, you're going to want to lay it flat like this and fold it in half. Okay.
Okay, this time right sides together.
Fold it in half, right sides together, thank you. And this becomes your basic bag.
Okay.
So then you're going to take it over to your sewing machine once again with that 1/2 inch seam allowance, sew up the sides just right along there, and sew up the side right here. Once you have done that, voila, you've got your bag, just like so. Okay.
All right.
Now, you're going to do this for the outside of your bag as well as the lining of your bag. So every step that you see me do right here, you're going to do it twice.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why we're calling it the basic bag, and that's why we're calling it easy.
That's
All
right. I love it.
So at this point, you could just keep it like this, but for us, we want to add a little bit more style, a little more depth to the bag. So we're going to box those corners at each end corner, each bottom corner. And it's very easy to do. All you're going to do is take that corner that is at your fold right here and pull it out just like that. Okay, you see that? And now your seam is forming this corner here, and you want to measure 2 inches down from the top of that seam. So I would just take a ruler here, and if you'll just hold that there, Chris.
Sure.
And measure 2 inches. And what I like to do at this point is just take either a straight pen or a disappearing ink pen and mark my line at the 2 inch point. That's when I can take it back to my sewing machine and sew right across to box that bottom corner, just like this.
Okay, that's going to help the handbag to sit.
Yeah, Yeah, that's right. Better. And you're going to be able to fill it out a little bit better as well. So right there, as you can see, we have sewn a straight line across. I would definitely do a back stitch on both the beginning and the end.
Okay, Kim, so now that we have the outside of the bag done and the lining, what is next?
Okay, what you're going to want to do is turn the outside of the bag inside out so that you've got the pretty side showing this time.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is actually take both of the bags over to your ironing board and press the top side of each bag down about 1/2 inch, 1/2 to 3/4 inches.
Okay.
Just like that, and make a very visible crease, as you can see here. So take it over to your ironing board, press, and then open that crease up again so that you can see the crease. This is actually going to be a really helpful tip for you so that when you go to a step in a few minutes, you're going to already have that crease there and it's going to be really easy to put together. So make sure you do that. Okay. Now the next thing you want to do is we need to make some pleats. And don't get scared of that word because it really is easy. If you grab that ruler there, we're going to start in the center here, and it's easy to find the center because you've got, of course, the seam line.
Fabrics,
exactly. So start in the center, and that becomes, say, your first pleat. But you want to make pleat markings every 2 inches on each side of that center. Okay, so I would take my ruler again, and starting at the center, I'm going to mark over 2 inches. As you can see here, I've already done that. 2 inches, another 2 inches, another 2 inches, another 2 inches, and another 2 inches.
Okay, so you're doing this like how many times? 5 times.
5 times. So you're making 5 marks from that center. If you're going to do it on this side, you got to do it on this side. That's right.
Do it again.
So again, starting from the center, you're going to mark every 2 inches. So a mark, a mark, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and you've got your pleat marks there.
That makes a lot of sense.
Now, because we did it on this side, we also want to flip it over to the other side and do that again. So again, starting from your center seam, go out 2 inches 5 different times, do the same on this side. Once you've done that, you're ready to now pin your pleats.
Great. All right, let's show them how to do that.
Okay. So all you do is take a look at this. We've got our center one here, and you go to your first pleat mark and move that over to your center. See how we matched up that little pleat mark? We matched it up to that center seam, and then stick a pin in it. Okay. Now you've got another pleat mark and another one. We're going to take the next pleat mark and match it over, bring it over towards the center, but you're going to make those 2 pleat marks match up.
Okay.
All right.
That looks great.
Yeah. And then you've got 2 more. You're going to take this next one, the very outside one, and bring it over to this one and make that match up. Okay. So you did it on that side. Of course, you would do it on this side, and then again on the back side, of course.
And I'm going to take a stab at this and think that you probably do the same for the lining.
How did you guess? Yeah, you would actually do this same thing for the lining as well. Okay, notice I still have my crease mark from earlier. Keep that there. You're not going to do anything with it yet, but it's important for a step a little bit later.
Okay.
Okay, so now we've actually got all the pleats pinned together. You're going to want to take it over to your sewing machine, and again with just a straight stitch, sew across the top of those pleats so that they all stay together.
What's your seam allowance on this one, Kim?
It really doesn't matter. About 1/4 inch is good. Okay. But you just want it so that the pleats stay together and the thread isn't going to show. So it's okay. Perfect. About 1/4 inch.
All right.
You're going to sew all the way around the top. And again, now we have our lining piece here. You're going to sew the same thing all the way around the top. Notice I kept the lining with the wrong side out. I've got the outside of it right side out. Makes sense.
Sure.
And now you're going to put the 2 pieces together.
Okay.
So go ahead and tuck in your lining.
All righty.
In there. All right. Just like that. Notice that's why, because you want, of course, the right side of the fabric facing out. And this is why you actually folded it over a little bit earlier, because you are going to match your seams.
Okay, the press seam.
You are going to match your seams and fold them over along that crease.
It's going to make it real easy
really
to find.
Easy, that's right. And then fold it, or push them together, match them together, I guess I should say. And take your pin.
Okay.
And now you can pin those together.
Okay, brilliant.
So you're matching your side seams, your center seam, and of course your pleats all the way around. And then, of course, because you had that crease, you're easily going to be able to put this together. This would be the time that if you wanted a button loop closure, you would want to insert that closure. If you wanted to put some different handles than the ones we're making today, then you would put your handles in there as well.
Before you sew that together.
That's right. And then once that is pinned all the way around, take it to your sewing machine, top stitch it with about a 1/4 inch seam, and then you're ready for your next step.
Pretty easy.
Really easy.
I love it. Okay, so from your remaining fabric that you had cut earlier, you're now going to cut 2 7-inch by 28-inch strips, okay? One from one fabric and one from the other.
Okay.
You'll want to connect those together by sewing down the middle, and of course with right sides together, using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I sew that together, and then I'll have my strip ready to go to the next step, which is I will now fold it all down the center lengthwise, excuse me. And according to the PDF instructions that you have downloaded, cut each of those ends at an angle. Then take it back to your sewing machine and now sew along the angle using a 1/2 inch seam allowance and all along till the very end of the other side of the strip. Okay.
Now you'll want to be able to turn it inside out, so be sure and leave about a 3-inch opening in it so that you can turn it inside out.
Exactly. So show us where we go from there, Kim.
Okay, so this is what we did here. As Chris mentioned, we just sewed along the angle all the way down. We left about a 3-inch opening, and now we can turn it inside out. So we'll quickly turn that inside out.
So once you have your handle completely turned inside out, go ahead and take your iron to it to press the seams closed.
That's right. And then you're going to go ahead and top stitch it to make a decorative, seam, to finish it off. Now what you're going to do is take each end from the corner and measure over 10 inches. So there's your 10-inch mark, there's your 10-inch mark. You're actually going to put this onto the top of your purse at this point. Now we have 2 different fabrics here for a different bag, but you still get the same idea. What we did is take that 10-inch mark, put it right directly to the side of our bag, and then we simply sewed across it.
On each side?
On each side, and then from there, all you have to do is turn it into a knot.
Wow, look at that.
And you've got a really cute handbag that's perfect for carrying all kinds of things.
How fun. Of course, we'd love to see photos of your finished handbags.
Definitely.
So be sure to add them to our Facebook or Flickr group. To close, we want to be sure and thank today's sponsor, Art Gallery Fabrics. Find out more about Pat Bravo's style and everything she has to offer at both patbravo.com and artgalleryfabrics.com.
Now, Chris, have you ever gone into a store and seen an example of a finished handbag and thought, oh, I want to make that exact handbag?
Yes.
But of course, the hardware may not be the same, or the fabric, or you're not quite sure to get the different embellishments and the parts that make
it
up.
It happens quite often.
Yeah, it does.
But because Art Gallery Fabrics has created these wonderful grab and sew kits that will include everything from the thread, the handle, the fabric, everything, honestly, that you need to make it.
And the cool thing is, we're going to give one of those away to a lucky viewer. So make sure and find all the details on how you can win your own grab and sew kit at thediydish.com.
Now, would you like to go ahead and purchase a grab and sew kit for yourself or as a gift for someone else?
Yeah.
Be sure to visit Hawthorne Threads, who carries all of Art Gallery Fabrics items.
Oh, fantastic. Hawthorne Threads is also kind enough to offer another giveaway, a $50 gift certificate to use on any of Art Gallery Fabrics.
Be sure to join us next week for a 2-minute holiday craft countdown where we are making some decorative garlands. Thanks for joining us today, and we hope that you felt that creativity was served. Bye-bye.